Hey guys, Quinlan here, and this is just a commentary of my Warlock in 4.1, and I'm just going to go over 4.1, some of the changes I've seen, and talk about everything I've noticed about 4.2, if you haven't been paying attention to the public test realm. Alright, so what this video focuses on is Affliction graveyard camping in 4.1, because I don't know I don't know any other class that really has the advantage we have in terms of graveyard camping in 4.1 at the moment, because as you all know, the graveyard got drastically changed in 4.1 in Warsong Gulch. It's now actually at a lower level than it was beforehand, and what this does is it makes it so that the Horde have to go all the way around, or the Alliance have to go all the way around to get back to their flag room, and so that just wastes a lot of time now, and it prevents games where just the healer dies and then reses before the flag carrier dies and everything's fine again. So now actually it's a lot easier to get the flag back. But this gives a pretty big advantage to Affliction Warlock, because as you can see, I can just come up here, I can put a demonic circle down, and I can just freely cast on the graveyard. I can even jump down there without any fear, because no one could really harm me. So yeah, so I'm just gonna put my demonic circle up there and just start casting out in the fight, because I know it's up there and I can get up there really easily now after this. And I'm really liking Warlocks in 4.1 right now. I'm especially liking the Fell Hunter damage buff. Everybody must know about this because it's ridiculous. If you look at all the top 3v3 and 5v5 Warlocks, they've all put talent points into increasing the damage done by the Fell Hunter Shadow Bite, because it's ridiculous how much damage it does. It's dealing it's dealing over 10k every time, and 10k every 6 seconds from your pet is a really great thing. So I'm just going to go over now some of the changes I've seen in the public test realm for 4.2, in case people aren't paying attention to that, because I know that I didn't pay attention for a long time. Alright, so in terms of PvP, there's a lot of great changes and some that kind of suck. One great thing is that Holy Pally's healing is getting nerfed. Divine Light, Flash of Light, Holy Shock, and Holy Light mana cost is being increased. And I don't know about you guys, but I just have been finding that Holy Pallies never go out of mana. And it especially sucks since we lost Drain Life as a Warlock, but yeah, it's just they never seem to go out of mana. Like, you can get a priest to go out of mana. You can get a resto druid to go out of mana. You can even get a resto shaman to go out of mana. But it just feels that Holy Pallies never are out of mana. And Blizzard even said that they talked about it from a raid perspective, but they were saying that Holy Pallies just never seem to be going out of mana. So this is going to be great. I don't know to what extent the mana cost will actually affect their healing, because it went up. The base healing cost went up a few percent for each of those spells. I think the biggest one was 5% for Divine Light. Alright, another big change that I like is that, at least as of now, Frost DK's damage is being lowered a bit. I don't know the Frost DK rotation, but Obliterate's damage is being lowered by 10% of their weapon damage, and also a talent that increases Obliterate's damage is also being lowered. So I don't know, I think Obliterate's just going to be doing a lot less damage. I don't know how reliant Frost DKs are on Obliterate, but it just feels like they're way too strong at the moment. They lead every Battleground damage chart. If there's a good Frost DK, I just can't compare to them anymore, except really on my Warlock, but that's only because of the amount of dots I'm putting on everyone, and they're dealing single target damage and keeping up with me, and I'm dealing damage to 4 or 5 people at once sometimes, and I can barely keep up with them. But yeah, so that's a pretty great change. Beast Mastery Hunter's Mastery, wow, that's a weird sentence to say, is being nerfed. It's around 0.2% per point now, and the amount they get per mastery is being lowered as well. So I don't know to what extent that will lower the mastery in general, but it seems like it's going to be a pretty big amount. And as I know, or as I think Beast Mastery's Hunters spec into mastery too. and so I think that's going to be a pretty big nerf to them. Uh, Now, a change with mages, and this is unconfirmed, but it is on the public test realm at the moment, is that arcane missiles now has a 100% chance to proc. And it was 40% before, and now it's 100. And there's been no official confirmation of this from Blizzard, but just 100% seems a bit too much. Just every cast will get arcane missiles, and that seems a little bit too much. They were getting it enough for 40%, I think. I don't know why that change was needed. I was seeing arcane missiles all the time. Alright, so now I'm going to go over a bit of the 4-piece PvE set bonuses, because I don't know. I've seen it happen in the past. They've gotten some use out of the PvP setting, and there's a lot of really great set bonuses to work with. For example, balanced druids and warlocks will be summoning minions to help them with their 2-set bonus. But the biggest set bonus that I can see that might actually get some use is that the 4-piece mage set will make it so that mages can use arcane missiles while moving. And I don't know, I think arcane's damage has always been incredible, but the fact is that they have very low mobility and very little way to get away from targets. So if they could keep a slow on someone and move while casting arcane missiles at them, I think that could see some use and actually be pretty great for them. And I don't mind arcane getting a boost. I want to see different mages besides frost and the occasional fire. Alright, so as everybody knows, elemental hasn't been in a good place since the start of Cataclysm, and I know there are elemental shamans out there, and I know that a lot of them actually do find success, but just it hasn't been a good setting for elemental shamans, and they're not doing as well as most elemental shamans players would hope. So we're gonna see a lot of changes to them in 4.2, and a lot of these changes are huge. This is probably the biggest changes of the patch. Alright, so to start off, elemental shamans have a talent called Lava Flow, and what happened was when Flame Shock was dispelled, it would give the elemental shaman 30% spell haste. Alright, so now what happens is that when Flame Shock is dispelled, it will give them a 90% spell haste. 90% spell haste buff. So if you're a healer, if you're just a class that can dispel, for example, you don't want to dispel Flame Shock or you will die. That's basically all I can tell you, because that seems huge. So I'm just going to talk about the game for a little bit before going back to the changes. What happened there was I got a little too close to the edge. I didn't notice there was a warrior. Of course, warriors can charge up that cliff, and same with feral druids. But so I got a little too close, and then what happened was I howled a terror the warrior, and I expected him to berserker rage and follow me off the cliff. So I jumped off the cliff and waited around 5 seconds for him to come down, and then I teleported back up, only to find that he neither used Berserker Rage nor trinketed the Howl of Terror I used, and he was just getting out of it, and so jumped back on me again. I should have been paying closer attention, but there were also people in the graveyard, and there was also a feral druid, so I was under a lot of pressure at that moment, and I just skipped the walk from the graveyard back to here because, I don't know, it's already like a 20-minute video, and it's just 30 seconds I can cut out easily. Alright, so where was I? Oh yeah, so more to elemental shamans. A new prime glyph called Glyph of Lightning Bolt, I think. Now lets Lightning Bolt be cast while moving. Obviously anybody can see how that's a pretty cool change, and I'm thinking that's actually pretty awesome. I don't know, I have no real complaints about that. I have a shaman as well, though I'm playing Resto and Enhancement at the moment, but I don't know, it'd be really cool to be casting lightning bolts while moving. It'll add a lot more mobility to the elemental shaman class. So what else is there? Oh yeah, so a big change, and this affects all shamans, is that your shields lightning shield and water shield can no longer be dispelled. And obviously you can see the merit of that, especially with elemental shamans. Again, this is a big plus to them, because they have a talent that allows them to use all their excess lightning shield orbs that deal more damage. And if their lightning shields are constantly being dispelled, then they won't be able to take advantage of that talent. And Blizzard also implemented another change to how elemental shamans get lightning shield orbs. And now, when they have the 4-piece PvP bonus, they will gain a lightning shield orb charge instead of losing one when hit. So essentially, they will never run out of lightning shield orbs. They can't be dispelled, they won't lose them when hit. The only way to get rid of them is for them to take advantage of that talent. I really can't recall the name at the moment. But yeah, so I think we're all going to be seeing a lot more elemental shaman use in 4.2, and I'm fine with that, really. I'd like any change out of the old Frost Mage, Frost DK setups. Not just in 2s, like just everywhere. They're in every game I've seen to play. 2s, 3s, Battlegrounds, there's too many Frost DKs and Frost Mages. So just any excuse to get out of the Frost is good. Alright, just a couple more Shaman changes. Shamans actually seem to get a lot of changes in the public test realm. Unleash Elements is now assigned to the Nature School. And so, if you are locked out of the Nature School, you can no longer use Unleash Elements. And, yeah, that kind of sucks, but whatever. Everybody has changes they don't like. And, now, Resto Shaman's mana regeneration is getting nerfed a fair bit too, and I haven't noticed that Resto Shamans had really great mana regeneration, but I guess they did, because it's really getting nerfed in the 4.2 public test realm at the moment. Right now, the amount of mana they get from Water Shield is halved, and that's a pretty big change because Water Shield provides a lot of mana, and if that's getting halved, then that's gonna suck. And also, what Resto Shamans use to get their mana back in tight situations, Mana Tide Totem, the spirit gain you get from that is also being halved. And you can see that that's gonna cause a lot more Resto Shamans to go out of mana. Alright, so just in PvP, oh yeah, I haven't even said the Warlock changes. There's only one that I've seen so far, but it's a bad change. It's only really affecting Affliction. Well, I guess it affects the other classes, but more so Affliction because our Drain Life is influenced by our Mastery and our talents. So, yeah, Drain Life's damage is being reduced by 25%. And that sucks, but just nothing you can do, you know. And other classes are getting more pressing nerfs than that, so I can't really complain. I wish... Oh, I can't believe I forgot to mention this one. This is my favorite change ever. Ring of Frost now has a cast time. It's only 1.5 seconds, but it can be interrupted. I can interrupt Ring of Frost. And to me that just means everything because I hate Ring of Frost. I hate it. And I'm good with my interrupts. I could get that 1 second window. I can take advantage of that, and I will take advantage of that, and I will stop that 9 second or 8 second or whatever freeze because I can't stand it. So I'm happy about that change so much. Alright, so moving on to just PvP in general. The 2-set bonus that you get from your PvP gear no longer stacks, so you're going to be seeing a lot less resilience on Resto Druids and Resto Shamans, because they've been all having 2-set elemental or 2-set balance and then 3 of the Resto set, and in order to get an 800 resilience bonus. So they'll be losing that, but they'll be getting the 4-set bonus that they haven't been taking advantage of before. So I'd look into what those are because you might be seeing those a lot more in 4.2. So I'm just going to talk about the game a bit. As you can see, if you've been paying attention, just the amount of damage you can deal from that position atop the graveyard is astounding. Really, I took out a Succubus a while ago because I like the charm in this situation because it lets people stay in the graveyard area long enough for me to keep them there and deal enough damage or put enough dots to kill them. So, yeah, so I've only died twice at this point. Both times from that same warrior. The first time it was my bad, but the first time I could have got out of that, but the second time he just beat me, and it happens a lot with warriors. I gotta practice on them some more. But yeah, so I used my soul stone and revived, and now I'm back in my old position. I'm picking up some good kills. I got an infernal out, and yeah, just basically the graveyard is my camping grounds, and it is great. Like, I'm dealing so much damage and getting so many kills. Well, really just with little effort at all. So going back to some of the changes I've seen in the PTR. Tier 12 Warlock set. Oh wait, this was actually just on a website, not the PTR. But the Tier 12 Warlock set looks pretty cool. Except for the helmet. I don't like the helmet. It's got some weird horns sticking out of it. Obviously, they're all flame-based, but yeah, it's got some weird fiery horns that I don't like. I really like the rest of the set. I might, if I ever got the chance to use any of the stuff. I don't know. I'm not too big of a PvPer, so I mean PvEer, so I wouldn't know. But I won't know if I can or not. But if I do, I think I'd get the 4 pieces except for the helmet. Just in terms of just item changes, the only really big item change I've seen is Hurricane. Everybody knows Dark Moon card Hurricane. Now what's going to happen is that Hurricane is going to deal 7,000 damage instead of 5,000, but it can no longer crit or benefit from the Enhancement Shaman Mastery, which it was in the past. And I saw that coming, but it just kind of sucks because there was a time around a month ago where I was just getting my Enhancement Shaman and I bought a Hurricane, and I was debating on whether to give it to my Rogue or give it to my Enhancement Shaman, and I ended up giving it to my Enhancement Shaman because it benefited from the Mastery. And now I kind of regret that because I would have rather given it to my Rogue, who I have more fun PvPing with at the moment, and I don't even know for how much longer I'll be playing as an Enhancement Shaman, because they're not good enough in my opinion. They're really fun to play and they're really great, but they're not on par with a lot of other classes, and they've been getting continuous nerfs. Maybe if I'd started back when Heroism was still usable in arenas, I would have had a lot more fun. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not having as much fun with them as I should be, so I've been gearing up as Resto, and I'm going to be playing as Resto because everybody knows how great Resto Shamans are at the moment. It's ridiculous. This is the last change that I've seen so far, is that battlegrounds and arenas will now have separate conquest caps. And what that means is just more conquest points each week. And but that depends on whether you can get a good rated battleground team together, which a lot of people can't. And so that sucks. It's going to be giving a lot of people advantages, especially when it's really hard if you play in a PvE realm. It's really hard to get a rated battleground team together because most people are focused on PvE. But I don't know. I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to get more conquest points, and hopefully I'm going to get fully geared quicker than up till now, because it took quite a while to get fully geared, especially because I had to get all the honor gear first. And since that's now not the case, I'm really looking forward to 4.2 arena season. Yeah, so that's actually all the changes I've seen so far. So now I'm just going to talk about the game for the rest of this commentary. Alright, so basically this whole video was about showing Warlocks how freaking great that spot is above the graveyard. No one can get to you. If someone targets you from below or on the graveyard, you can just teleport to the top, cast on them, or just run away. Only warriors, DKs, and feral druids can get up to you. Oh wait, and rogues with shadow step. But you can get away quick enough for the shadow step every time I've found. But the thing is too, just that most of the time they don't think of it in time. They only have really a 4-second window to see where you are, because they first have to realize where your location is, and then to charge you. And usually I can get all my dots on them, decide whether they're going to turn around and see me, and run back away quickly enough. And even if they do charge me, And obviously it hasn't been the case because when the warrior did charge me both times, I did die. But usually now when they do charge me, I've gotten better at this setup since then. Uh, my dots have dealt enough damage that I can win the ensuing fight. And yeah, it's just I don't understand how Blizzard thinks the spot is gonna be like just normal for however long World of Warcraft's out, because just it gives warlocks such an advantage in my opinion. No one else can get up onto that cliff just at will. Like every other class would require a target to be up there. I guess warriors could if they intervened a target, but besides that, you won't always have a target up there. In this base, you can defend by yourself and cast on whoever and just deal so much damage. Alright, so I know that someone's coming up from behind me, and I turn around, I see the hunter, get my dots on him, get a fear, and just get Shadow Bolt to get Shadow Embrace up. And yeah, it just goes down quickly. So I know now, I see that we're losing, and so I'm trying to go in there and see if I can actually grab the flag. But then, as you can see, there's just way too many of them, so I just start casting spells, just trying to get away. And then the rogue sees me, and that always sucks, but thank God that's why I brought out the succubus, because for this camping and all this, the succubus is much more help than the fell hunter, because it can stop people from attacking me, and it gives me just greater mobility. So yeah, I'm now just gonna try and cast up here, put a new demonic circle up here, because it's always better to be up here, because then you can use the different levels to your advantage. Say a melee jumps on you, jump off, teleport back up. One of the great advantage of demonic circles. But yeah, I know there's way too many of them and they're turtling, so instead of just running down and having an unnecessary death, I just decide to just sit there and cast on them. But yeah, it's just easier this way. I know I can't get the flag, but so I just decided to do that. But then, as you can see, just like 3 pets descend on me. So I just have to book it, I have to get out there, and then their flag carrier goes, and I die right before the game ends. And just looking at the scoreboard, I don't know if you can see, but I did 32, I think, or 34 killing blows, and dealt over 6 million damage. And that's pretty good for one Warsong Gulch with no healer and just casting over a graveyard. And obviously, I could have contributed more to the team, but that's just way too much fun. Anyway guys, thanks for watching.